Thank you. And it's always tough to quit when things are positive and you feel good about what you're talking about. And that's certainly evident, I think, in Mrs. Bolton's remarks. We're very fortunate to have her leading our school district along with the great faculty and administration that we have here. It's neat to be in this building. We're surrounded by probably 300 kids right now that are practicing t-ball, softball, whatever the spring sport is of the season, which is ball, knowing that these kids are going to be going through the schools that are in existence now and that will be in existence in the future, whether that's in the current future or the future future. We believe it's going to be the current future. And the plan that Mrs. Bolton talked about is the right plan for this community at this time, and it's one that will, as she has said, touch all of the students that are currently not in the middle school or that are in the high school. It's going to provide opportunities for those youngsters that we have in our community right now that some have not had the opportunity to experience. And I look around this room tonight and I see a lot of people that I had the privilege of working with 12, 13, 15 years ago when I was here doing economic development. And it was an environment that was we were in an environment that we were wanting to improve this community, and I think that environment still exists today. And as Ms. Bolton said, schools, hospitals, businesses, parks, the things that you and I support, quite frankly, with our tax dollars, are the things that create a community, that create development in a community, that enable a community to be proud of what it has to offer its citizens, and that makes it something that other people want to come and experience in their travels. We have a lot of positive things going on in our community today, and there are seeds planted that will continue to bring positive development in the future, and that excites our family. I hope that excites the families that you represent. I know it excites Mrs. Bolton and the school board. And the thing that I think is important for all of us to know is that the school board is 100% behind this. And Mrs. Bryce is here representing the school board and representing herself as well. And she can tell you that 100% of the school board supports this plan. And that's a very important, I think, thing to know, because it has the momentum behind it to be done in a way that will be in the best interest for this community. I just want to say a few more things about the economic development of the world, because I think that touches every life in a community. You know, we are very fortunate in Sulphur Springs and Hopkins County to have people that want to look prudently at any project that comes up, and that's very important. Communities across our country who haven't done that are not as healthy as we are. And there are some not too far from us that are experiencing some very tough times because they didn't make prudent decisions. But as we look at this proposed bond that's going to be voted on May the 9th, and as early voting will start on Monday, as we look at this, we know that this is a proposal for improvements that this community can handle. It's a proposal for this community that is doable, and as Ms. Bolton said, that will touch many, many different kids in our community. And many of you that have lived here all your life, you were probably at some point in a similar situation where the community was in need of improvements, and you decided that it's time to make those improvements for future generations, and you stepped out and made that decision at that time. As you look across our community, at our churches, at our businesses, at our schools, at our parks, anything along those lines, those decisions have been made somewhere in the history of this community. And as we attempt to understand life, which is probably one of the more difficult things to do, one of the quotes that I always like to remember is, "Life is understood backwards but lived forwards." And when we understand from the past what we've done that's been good, healthy, when we understand in the past what we've done that hasn't been, it enables us to make good decisions moving forward. And that's where we are today. I feel fortunate to be here, knowing that decisions that we're making now for this community are going to be affecting people for 10, 20, 30 years in the future, just like decisions that were made, and I don't want to, I'm like Ms. Bolton, I don't want to pick on anybody, but just like decisions that were made by maybe Mr. Watts years ago, or Mr. Clayton years ago, or Mrs. Bryce when she was in education, and many of you that are also involved. And you all knew that those decisions were difficult at that time, but you stepped up and made them. And it's time for this community to do the same thing today as we move forward. Ms. Bolton has presented the facts, which is required by law, and I think has done an excellent job of that. And I want to emphasize how important that is, that you know the facts, because many times in events such as this, the facts are not always stated correctly. But Mrs. Bolton has presented the facts, and we are here also to make sure that you have the opportunity to ask questions from those that are directly involved in this proposal, and can answer your questions with factual information, or if it's unknown, can get back with you tomorrow, if at all possible, and give you the correct answers. So it's exciting time for our community. It's exciting time for our young people. It's an exciting time to build this community to move forward as it's been done in the past. Our school district has been blessed with many successful achievements, not just this year, but as you look in the history of our school. And you all that have attended the school district here are a living testimony to that. That's what we are wanting to perpetuate with this school bond, with the facility improvements, with the new facility. That is the purpose, is providing the best that this community can provide for our kids, so in 20 or 30 years, people that choose to come to this meeting can do that, and they will have been through a good school district with good facilities. And that's what we build on year after year. So it is time now for this community to do this. And my closing statement, I guess, is please vote yes. I can say that, and I sincerely mean that, and I know that I will be voting yes, and my wife will be voting yes, and we are asking for that from you as well. And we thank Mr. Kane for giving us the opportunity to come and make this presentation. And as Ms. Bolton said, we have done this to a lot of civic and groups in town. And again, our purpose is to present the facts and to inform this community about important matters that will affect all of us. And I am willing also to take questions, but that would conclude my remarks.